Hey guys, what's going on here today? Talk about an interesting day. Well, I had to go to a traffic court situation because we have those red light cameras here where they appear to change on time, but unfortunately they don't. And one has gotten me, and they tried to charge me 300 and something dollars to for court for the traffic ticket. So I was like, no, I'm going there to talk to them because I'm not giving them 300 and some dollars. I have 300 and some dollars, but I don't have it to give to them. But anyway, Toronto, you're something else. But anyway, like I was saying, I look like a little old lady. I'm gonna give you a little old lady today. But anyway, traffic court. So get all the way down there. After coming from a doctor, I wasn't feeling too good. I was just not in a good place. Get all the way down there. Go all the way on the west side of the building. Go all the way up to the reception desk. Talk to the security guard. Well, the police officer, whatever you want to call him. And might as well be a security guard. But anyway, talked to her, and she said, which area are you going for? I said, I'm supposed to have a court date today, or early resolution. That's what they call it if you want to reduce the fine and just say you're guilty. She's like, okay, so you have to go over there at that line right there. So I said, fine, go through the line, standing there. And here's my theory on this is, I get right there and I'm listening to these excuses. Sorry, my eyes are closed. Anyway, I get up there and listen to these excuses. So we got this one guy in front of me who had 3 violations. One was driving with no insurance. The other one was driving with no license and driving way much more than mine. Now look over to my right, and there's this guy who had 2 offenses and then had the excuse of, I forgot to pay it. I'm thinking to myself, oh gosh. So hopefully they will cut me a break. So after those 2 goons gone about their business and stuff like that, I went up there to the window, and the guy was like, oh yeah, we have you registered right here, blah blah. You have to go on the east side of the building. So I went all the way down the steps, went all the way around, and went into this little, you know, how you go in the courthouse, and they got the metal detectors. So when they hit the metal detectors, you have to empty out all your change in your pocket, whatnot, and stuff like that. So I'll take and empty out my change into the little basket and stuff. Next thing you know, I forgot I had my iPhone on me. Why did the police officer, sir, what you got on you? You have to empty everything in the basket. I know that, you dumbass. It was just one of those things that I forgot to put in the basket. That's what I want to tell him. Well, you have to empty it in the basket. So, went back through when everything went fine. So, I'm new at this. I've never, well, knock on wood, I never got a ticket before, and I stay out of trouble. You know, I do. I mind my own. I stay out of trouble. So, that being said, I asked the guy, being nice and polite and friendly, because your cops are supposed to be nice and friendly to the community. The fucking lie. So I asked, I said, sir, do you know where I'm supposed to go? Oh, you're supposed to go back to the west end of the building. I just came from the west end. They told me to come over here to see you guys. Well, who told you to say that? I said, the register over here. Well, why are you over here? You know what? I'm going to let you take him over and talk to another police. I'll let you take this over. I just can't deal with it. Something he said smart. And I'm thinking to myself, you fat, little lazy, bitch-ass punk. At things. He was a little young kid that thought he was just somebody because he had a badge on. And, you know, I'm thinking to myself, where I'm from, people do not take too kind to police officers. But that's another story we're going to talk about later on in life. Anyway, so next thing I know, I talked to this man, and he said, who told you to come on here? I said, the register office told me to come on here. Talk to somebody and get registered to talk to the court about lowering my fine. Well, do you got a piece of paper? I said, I don't have a piece of paper. Nobody gave me a piece of paper. Well, you have to have a piece of paper and this and another. And I'm like thinking to myself, who is he raising his voice at? I don't have time for this. And needless to say, I said, okay, alright. So I went over there, sit down. Needless to say, when I went over into the courtroom, there was this lady that was coordinating everything. She was very nice. She said, you know what, you have to go over here to the court, right down the hall, and if you tell them that you're guilty, they'll lower your fine and you'll be out the way. Okay, here's my theory. If you're a police officer and you don't like dealing with people, perhaps you might want to get another job. I mean, I just don't get it. And things, when people ask you questions, you sitting there on your fat ass and don't want to answer their question, but you want to sit there and act like you somebody because you're a fucking cop. Just sitting there. I mean, come on, get a clue. I don't get it. Toronto police officers, a lot of you guys need to get together. Maybe it was just the two bad apples in the bunch, and I had to come across that yesterday, which is typically my luck. But come on, people. I mean, if you don't like the fucking job, just get something else. And if you're a police officer, and you know, needless to say, you are fucking lazy as a police officer. You was young and you thought you was somebody, and then the little old skinny little bastard, he's standing there barking out orders at people, especially if you tell them, this is my first time here. Don't you think it would be quite proper if you would take and just, you know, guide a person and understand a little bit? I know your job in the criminal field is trying, but you know, just a normal citizen asking you a question and you barking off like that. I mean, come on, people, get a clue. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd come in and tell you about my little lovely trip to the courthouse. I never want to get another. I never want to deal with that again. And things said, trust me, I'm gonna be very cautious while I drive. Oh, sorry, guys. A little tired, but I'm gonna be a little cautious when I drive from now on, and things, so I won't have to deal with assholes like the Toronto Police Department. Anyway, have a nice day. Bye.